Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lobo, and this is actually my first YouTube video, so I'm very excited to share a special message with you. It's a message that's been in the making for about 10 years now and has just recently re-impacted my life. So I hope that this is a benefit to you, and if you feel this might benefit someone else, please by all means share this message. So let's begin. As I mentioned, this goes back about 10 years when I first came across a video from a man named Steve Edge. Now, I'll be happy to leave a link in the description below. It's a very short message, but it's very rich. Now, in this message, Steve says that he's about 9 years old when he goes to visit his rich aunt Hazel. And he notices that she has a bunch of cool stuff, things like fancy dinnerware in China. And he asks his aunt, when do you ever use this stuff? And she tells him, I only use it on special occasions. Now, I'm sure a lot of us can identify with that. Maybe our parents have that, or maybe our grandparents have that, the dinnerware, standing in furniture and whatnot. Or maybe we do that ourselves. But anyway, Steve says that unfortunately, his aunt passed away about a week later after that. And he realized that she never really get to use a lot of the stuff that she had. Now, despite at such a young age, Steve realized this. He says that even though his parents didn't have a lot of money, and actually his mom made all of his clothes, that he did have a Sunday best. So he decided he was going to wear his Sunday best every day because it would not matter if the Sunday best would, break apart or tear down. He would have enjoyed every moment using it instead of not using it at all. He even gives a quote saying, always dress for a party and the party will come to you. Now, I remember when I first heard this message, it inspired me to do just that. And I started, wearing the things that I like and enjoying them. I remember I began to upgrade my wardrobe and I shyly began to experiment with things at church. I began to take slacks instead of jeans, sorry. I began to take long sleeve shirts instead of t-shirts, got some shoes, I started wearing ties and got into a bow tie. Then I upgraded to a suit finally. I really liked it and I had a lot of fun. Now as my wardrobe began to grow, I realized that I was saving things for special occasions. I would get a shirt and think to myself, you know what, this is a very nice shirt. I'm going to save it for a special day. Or I would get some shoes and think to myself, you know what, these are a bit pricey. I can't just wear these any day. So ironically, I began to do the opposite of what the video had inspired me to do. Now, as I mentioned, this goes back 10 years. I was in my early 20s, and I noticed that as time passed by, I had began to gain some weight. It wasn't a lot, but I noticed it. I thought to myself, I'm probably just bloated. It will shrink down, but it never really did. It wasn't until I had a shocking moment of truth one night. I met some friends for dinner. I had not seen them in a good while, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna wear something special. So I got a nice black shirt, I put it on, and I go out and meet them. And it wasn't until after we had dinner that I realized that the buttons on my shirt were hanging on for dear life. When they're like this and your skin is showing through. I was very conscious of it. I kept covering it up, and I was very embarrassed. Now I thought to myself, you know what? I can't wear these shirts anymore. I don't think they fit as comfortable as they did before. So I decided to stop wearing them, at least while I lost some weight. Now, at the time, I had also just bought a motorcycle, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna dress more like a biker while I lost some weight. Well, I was waiting to lose weight magically because realistically I was not doing anything actively to lose weight. So I got, my leather jacket, the black boots, the dark attire, and I was getting more comfortable using, my extra medium shirts now. I was not size medium anymore, but I didn't want to go to a size large. And, time passed by, I kept gaining more weight. I got engaged, my wedding came up, and I'm happy that I was able to have my wedding because after a couple of days, that's when the quarantine lockdown began. Like literally the next week, everything got shut down. Thank God I was able to keep my job working from home. But it was a combination of my first year of marriage and working from home that made it even easier for me to continue gaining weight. Now, I had reached a weight point that I had not been since high school, and it made me feel very uneasy. So I decided I had to do something about it. I remember, I tried wearing an old shirt just to see where I stood, before all of this began. I put on an old shirt and it all just felt so wrong. I kept trying clothes and it felt like they weren't even mine to begin with. Pants, the buttons on the pants felt like miles from closing. It all just felt so wrong. I thought to myself, you know what? This is my goal. My goal is to fit back into these shirts. I'm going to work out, I lose weight, and I'm going to wear these outfits again. So I did so. I changed my diet. I began to work out, counting the calories, doing the push-ups, the squats, you name it. And after a couple of months, I saw some changes. I decided, you know what, let me try again to see where I stand. Maybe this will remotivate me to continue going. So I put on a shirt, and to my surprise, now my belly did fit perfectly. As I was buttoning up my shirt, I got some confidence for a very short period of time, because as I kept buttoning it up, I noticed that my chest, my back, and my arms, shoulders were now wider. So now my shirt, the upper body, was now the one hanging on for dear life to the buttons. The shirt just didn't fit anymore. It was a bittersweet moment because I had reached, all this hard work. I had reached my goal of losing weight, but I was not reaching my goal of using my shirt, my outfits that I had. I was mad. After all this hard work, it was for nothing. Now, I'm going to make a pause here and say that I'm not a muscular guy. I've never been, but I have always been on the thinner side. In fact, all of my shirts had always been slim or slim fitted to, some sort. So even though I did work out and I did lose some weight, this workouts reshaped my body so that they no longer fit into the slim shirts. So anyway, I came to terms with the fact that I was now a size large, no longer extra extra medium. So I had to get rid of some of the old shirts that I had to, get a new wardrobe. And as I was taking stuff out, I realized that some of the shirts and some of the items that I had still had tags on them. They were brand new. I had never once used them. It made me mad because, I would have been happy had I used these items just once. And, maybe I had some pictures with them, enjoying them. And maybe I didn't use them anymore. They didn't fit. I would have been okay with that. But it made me mad that I never even got to use them once. And now I had to get rid of them. And in fact, to prove my point, I picked this outfit because I had been saving this tie for quite a lot of years. I thought it was a really nice blue. And in fact, just so you can see, it still has a tag on it. I left it here just so you can see it. I had been saving it for many years, and that special day never came until today. So as I was emptying my wardrobe, I remember Steve's video and his message, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to go back to that. I'm not going to let this happen again. I'm going to really enjoy everything that I have. Doesn't matter if it breaks apart or whatever. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm always going to have those memories of them. Another example is this guitar. Now, I know how to play a couple of instruments, but electric guitar has never been on my mind. I've never been interested in playing it. In fact, in a conversation with a friend of mine who is an electric guitarist, he was asking me if I was interested. I told him no, but if I was ever to get an electric guitar, it would be a blue guitar with a hollow body so I can play the blues. That was my dream guitar. I had a vision of it. So one day, actually, I needed to buy a bass, and I went to Guitar Center. And I saw this beautiful guitar, and I knew I had to get it. It was used. It had a very reasonable price, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to get it. I'm going to learn how to play electric guitar. Came with a case, took it home, practiced for a couple of hours, put it away. And I only practiced maybe 3, 4, 5 times on special occasions when I had time, and it would go back to the case, to a corner. So for like a good year or two, it was just there. I think the strings went bad. I was not, doing anything with it. It wasn't until all of this happened, incident with my clothes, that I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna enjoy and I'm gonna use the things that I have, as opposed to them going bad or getting rid of them and not having used them at all. So I remember I got a stand, and I decided I'm going to keep it out here on a stand so that whenever I see it and it makes me want to practice, I take it out and I practice. And boy, has it made a huge difference. I've learned so much, as opposed to it being stored in a box and me dealing with the hassle of, bringing it in and out and storing it away. So I recommend, that you do that. If you have items, use them and really enjoy them. There's a quote from Denzel Washington that says, in one of his commencement speeches, he says, "You will never see a U-Haul following a hearse." I'm going to say that again. You will never see a U-Haul following a hearse. It's so true. He even goes on to say, you know what, when we're gone, we're not going to be buried with our belongings. So what's the point of amassing, treasure? The Egyptians tried that, and what did they get? They get robbed. This hit me hard. It's so true. It's better to enjoy it, because once we're gone, we're not going to take any of that stuff with us. Now, putting aside material things, I thought about that message, and it made me think there was much more to material things, clothes or items or whatever. It can also apply to people. Sometimes you might be busy and you get a call from your parents and you think to yourself, you know what, I'm busy at the moment, I'll call them back later. Or maybe a friend has been telling you that they've been struggling with things and they would like to, talk about it. And you tell them, you know what, I'm busy at the moment. I'll give you a call next week. Or the ultimate classic, I love this one, when you see someone you haven't seen in a while. It doesn't have to be a long time, but you haven't seen them in a while. And what do you always tell them? Man, it was nice seeing you. We should hang out sometime. And when do you ever do? You never hang out. You never call your friend. You never call back your parents. It's very sad, you know? You gotta seize the day. Carpe diem. You gotta enjoy today. This reminds me of a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt that says, "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift." That's why it's called a present. Now, you might have heard this from Kung Fu Panda from Master Uwe, but Eleanor said it first. But it's true, enjoy today, enjoy what you have. And recently, people have asked me, why do you wear those things? Why have you changed the way you are? When I met you, you were a biker. Now you're a student tie kind of guy. But this is the reason why. And if you feel the same, I recommend that you do that too. Again, it doesn't have to apply to clothes. It can be things like a guitar. Or maybe, for example, you see someone on the street and they're wearing a nice hat and you think, man, that looks really good. But you have that same hat and you don't use it because you keep saving it for a special occasion. So I dare you, to use those items and really enjoy what you have. So I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with two questions. What is something that you wished you would use more often? Could be an item like a guitar, as I mentioned. Maybe you have a ukulele laying around. Maybe you have a skateboard. Maybe you have some clothes like a nice hat or a nice bow tie that have you been saving for a special day. What is something that you wish you used more often? When would you rather use it, or when would you like to use it? And the second question is, who is someone that you've been waiting too long to call or to hang out with? So I dare you to take action and to enjoy exactly what you have. Enjoy your family. It doesn't matter, as I mentioned, if things break down or if you no longer see a friend. You, at the end of the day, you would have enjoyed every moment and any minute you spent with them. Thank you for watching.